Hi, this is Master Pain and welcome to my channel. Today I've got some clips of me fighting a 270 AP level 62 Musa full of dead items. This was an interesting experience as my gear is far from being soft cap. Basically every time he gets me CC'd, I'm dead. So this was a great practice of iframes and blocks. The damage he output highly favored him in SA trades and completely zeroed my guard, so I had to keep moving, watch my cooldowns and stamina and look for opportunity to counter. As you can see, my playstyle evolved a little bit. Besides the old stuff, now I'm using Shadow Ignition and Eruption to disable my opponent. This required me of developing a second finishing combo, which I added to my kit, and I will make a separate video about. From the clips you can surely guess what it will be and the reasons behind it. I would love to see your ideas in the comment section. So now let's take a look on some parts and analyze them. In the first one here you can see my perfect skill rotation and how his damage just overpowers my defense. Check out how I'm using Shadow Ignition and Eruption as tools and basically not for damage. And here I did a mistake not checking if my Shadow Leap is available. Nice disengage for stamina and shield recovery, and in such situations you can just Shadow Leap far behind your opponent. Engulfing Shadow here is a nice engaging tool connecting with iframes to speed up the play. Here's a perfect example of my second finishing combo, although I could extend it with Shadow Eruption. Now here I'm being too aggressive, which led to losing. Really gotta watch these cooldowns and resources. Nice throw with the Dragon Ball, and I really watched for the Shadow Leap here, but the cooldown was just a second off. Another nice finishing, but not enough. A classic desync. One thing I haven't told you yet is that we played this on Velia 4 server, and arena was crowdy and laggy. And I'm not making excuses here, just saying. Falling back to regain some stamina, and I'm blinking here a little too much, which really doesn't help the process. Again, the skill rotation goes something like Engulfing Shadow, iframes and the Shadow Ignition, and I use this prior to Shadow Eruption, which I could add here to the finishing combo. Need to practice that dry. Well-timed disengage. Here, take some of that Mark of Shadow and a slow debuff. Feels bad, but I signed for this though. At this point you should really get the clue of how this playstyle works. I will cover that in my PvP guide that will come out in the future. Here I'm blinking really too much with really any purpose, and this would lead to the lack of stamina later on. Here begins the stamina problem, and I should have disengaged at this point. Great basketball Shadow Leap combo, almost a perfect execution, and you can see how hard it is for me to go through all that soft cap defense, but at least I'm hitting stuff. Here's a really nice Shadow Ignition usage, which I slowed down for you. Sometimes it is hard to see that shot. Anyway, I tried to use it before Shadow Eruption, because it is an instant cancel, and switch to Amulet for quick iframes from any stance. Most people would be dead after this, but hey, I will have to wait for it. Here's a longer clip with a perfect example of my signature combo, and I think I'm gonna leave you here with the rest of the footage, ending with the clips where I actually won the round. Yes, it is possible to match with the higher geared players, and if you are interested in making some duels, just call me out on EU server. As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please give this video a like and or leave a comment. Subscribe if you didn't, and I hope to see you soon.